betcha. Any public comment?
Easy.
Spare parts. Not coming out of my budget.
To replace the keyboard.
Let's have a tornado, now you do it. Good, good. No public comment, I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
A motion to close public hearing.
Motion by Kraus, second by Hoffman. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We are closed. Any public comment on anything else? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on to item number 7, sharing agreement. We asked for some, I was asked to put this on here for some clarification. I'm gonna pass around a portion of the minutes from the Franklin County's January 7, 2019 meeting, just for your information. I don't think it's anything that we need to address or spend time on. But I'll let it, everybody read the highlighted portion. We can discuss if anybody would like.
Sorry.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Thank you, sir. To be honest with you, I don't know if there's any discussion over there. I can't count how I wasn't there. Any discussion, comment?
It's over, it's done with.
Yes, sir. Number 8, Alert Iowa statewide mass notification system. I put this on there, I'll be honest with you, I thought we had gone down this road once before, but in looking into it, we had not. We're one of 12 counties that's currently not on Alert Iowa. It's basically a free service notification, mass notification on weather updates. If we had a missing person, whatever, it's text, email, I believe maybe even a phone call.
Yep.
All as I've been researching this, basically, is need this commission's blessing, if you will, to move forward with entering into the agreement with the state for us to get Alert Iowa for Hardin County.
It's a code red replacement, basically.
In a sense, yes.
Sure.
You can use it for lots of different things.
Yep.
You can set up your own groups of who you want the message to go out to,
Okay.
how you want the message to go out.
I anticipate we'll approve this. Is there a chance that we could have somebody from Department of Homeland Security come up and explain to us what it could or could not be used for? I mean, I'm familiar, but I mean, you can draw a map of, I want these people notified there's a natural gas leak, so you're notifying an evacuation area.
Kind of like a fencing thing.
Right, yep.
I think so.
So I think it'd be good for all of us to know what the capabilities are, so we can take it back to fire and EMS and law enforcement and public works to know what the true capabilities are.
Yeah. I thought we had initially gotten into this a year or two ago, but apparently we have not. So we're one of 12 counties that are participating. I think it's a valuable service that we could offer to our public safety entities as well as our citizens. My opinion, but when I emailed them and said, hey, what do we need to do? I didn't expect the 150 pages of stuff being emailed back. And then one of them being basically the blessing of the commission that the commission is okay with us entering into this. So that's why I put this on here. And what I've read, and BJ, you're familiar with it, and Steve, it sounds like you've got background. It's a free service. I think we'd be doing a disservice by not going into it. It's like you said, basically a replacement to the code red at no expense.
So you wanting it in the form of a motion or what?
I think we're probably just a motion that, yes, we as the Hardin County EMA Commission want to pursue Alert Iowa.
I make a motion that the Hardin County go ahead and pursue the Alert Iowa statewide notification system.
Motion by
Second said
Dave.
motion.
Second by Kraus. Only further discussion, I'll reach out to somebody at Homeland, or if you know somebody, we'll see if they can attend
I'll
next
let
one.
you
Okay, next month's meeting, and then, see if they can come up and do a presentation on something.
And maybe we even expand that, maybe instead of doing it with us, we do it with county fire or county EMS and have a joint meeting, so the people that actually have to initiate it are going to, know exactly what the capabilities are. Cause I heard at my class last Thursday, it's an amazing tool, but you can overuse it. Cedar Rapids tried sending out a weather notification, and they they encompassed the downtown area with a lot of, with Alliant and some other big businesses, and they didn't realize there are over 9,000 landline numbers in this 3-block radius, and it overwhelmed the system while other counties were trying to send out small messages, and so nobody knew what that problem was going to end up being. So it'd be nice to, educate everybody.
Agreed. I think a joint meeting might be difficult. I'll try to
Right.
get them to this meeting
Yeah.
and invite.
We can.
We have the
Sure.
EMS
Yeah.
council president. We'll try to get the president from the County Firemen's Association. And then from there, maybe they can go.
We
"Hey,
can
here's-"
videotape it even.
Yeah, or have them come to attend a county firemen's meeting.
Yeah.
So
My,
I'll reach out to
yeah,
them.
Yeah.
my past experiences with it is, Homeland will try to have someone within the county be the coordinator.
Right.
And then that person would do most of the training, and then they would get it out, they would spread it out to the other organizations.
See, I plan on just sign up my name to something. We have, but apparently not. So, okay, motion second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. The motion carries, we'll get that arranged. Number 9, go through this one. Discussion of hiring of the emergency management coordinator. As we're going through the process, we've had some applications come in. I think we're gonna have people in the county that are interested. My thought would be, and we've done this on promotional panels and stuff in the past, if feasible, I'd like to reach out to maybe another chief of police, county sheriff, mayor, or somebody that's not affiliated with this commission or our county, to give it basically a fair, have a hiring committee that's made up outside of this commission. So that way, whoever that commission or that committee or panel would come back and say, we've completed interviews, we've reviewed applications and resumes, here is who the best candidate we feel for Hardin County is.
I think that's a wise idea, only because if you have candidates in the county, there's somebody here who's gonna conflict with that candidate, most likely.
And it
In
makes-
one way or another, whether it be their boss, be somebody they work with, be somebody who's over them, somebody who's under them. And I think that's really the only fairest way you can do it, is to have.
And a bad experience from 10 years ago could affect somebody's
Correct.
decision. Or it's awkward to interview with somebody that you know,
Mm-hmm.
either personally or professionally.
Correct.
So that's my 2 cents. I think we could put some feelers out and maybe get a, chief.
I just wondered, what about having a human resource?
That would be one of them, I
The
think
county human
would
resource
be a
people do it.
possibility.
I mean, the least you know it's done right.
But I think it also would behoove us to have a fire chief, an ambulance director, a sheriff or police chief that works with an EMA
Oh,
and knows what qualities that we would want. I just think to be fair, having an I don't wanna say unbiased, but I mean, just,
Impartial.
yeah, they're
Yeah.
impartial. They don't know anybody from Adam.
I was just thinking that like the HR attorneys or what they would pick, or they could go and get some of those
But,
people, yeah.
And they come back with who they feel is the best recommendation, I think we as a commission, when we get to that point, would need to honor their expertise, or if you will, or the time and energy they put into it. But if that's something we want to do, we're taking applications, I believe, till January or February.
March 1st, I think, isn't it?
February 28th, March 1st. And then my thought would be maybe mid-March, contact the applicants, arrange a date, time for an interview. I'll buy them all lunch and have them do interviews somewhere here at the sheriff's office or here at the courthouse, and go that direction. I just want, I don't know what we're gonna get for applicants, but I think that's just like James said, an impartial way of giving everybody a fair shake and not going in with preconceived notions or, like I said, a bad experience from someone. You know, I've worked with Bryce for 26 years. I wouldn't let him walk my dog. But, no, I just, one bad experience with somebody 15 years ago could taint their opinion to this day. And I don't think that would be fair or reasonable, so.
Sounds good to me.
Do we need that as a motion to?
I think it would give you clear direction from the commission that they wanna go ahead with your idea, and then it's not your idea that, well, I did this.
Right, yeah, that's,
But I
I'm just
think-
throwing it out there for,
I think a motion would be in order, that way it's covered.
so before we get to that point, do we have, ideas of who would we want on that panel? I was just tossing things out there with a police chief or a sheriff or a mayor or a fire
What
chief.
about a current
EMA?
EMC coordinator from another county?
That gets kind of tough simply because depending on who your applicants are, in that world, they all know one another. In the law enforcement world, even with 99 counties, we'd be hard pressed not to find an officer somewhere that we don't know or know somebody that knows somebody. You know, I mean, so I would, while I don't dislike that idea, there's a pretty good bet that person may know one of the applicants.
Well, what if you just do what Brian had mentioned, contact our county HR department and tell them that this is how we would like to move forward with this particular hire. What would be your recommendation? And then kind of let them facilitate it and hand it off and,
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea, because then you would take out any absolute question of even anybody being involved with the county's EMA that would be picking the outsiders even.
Right.
If you let the HR do the whole thing and say, you line up who you think would be best, we would like to see it be, we could say we would like it to see you pick a sheriff from somewhere, this and that, but, allow them to kind of facilitate
let
the
them
whole thing, so
research
you don't have.
how that, for that particular job title, what skill sets of interviewees and interviewers need to have.
Okay, I'll reach out to them. Thoughts on, and I suppose they're the HR people, we would kind of follow their guide on, do you want 3 people on the panel, do you want 5 people on the panel? I suppose take their.
Well, I guess it would
take
depend
best
upon,
practice.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think the best practice, usually what you hear is it's pretty much like a panel of 3.
Usually
You know,
three,
and
yeah.
usually 3, and I think then if, they would probably choose, but if you want it to be, a sheriff and a fireman and a policeman or whatever you wanna do,
Yeah, I
just ask
think it
them
would.
to come up with.
Yeah. I think it'd be nice to have people that, at least in their respective jurisdictions, work with the EMA.
Right,
And have
correct.
a knowledge of what does Hardin County
Correct.
want or need,
Mhm.
versus,
Correct.
And it may mean using what we called our personnel committee that we had established out of this commission to meet with that HR agency, group, whatever.
Right.
And
Just what we're looking
just have a kind of a exchange of ideas, but then just let them run with it.
And I would think, and I don't know, BJ, with what the agreement the county has with our
Yeah.
HR, they would,
Yeah.
I'll check with them, but
I would say if we're going, a motion would be great. I think if we put a not to exceed 15, a dollar amount to pay them, because I think it might be outside the scope of what.
well, I wasn't gonna
normal-
pay them, I was gonna buy them lunch, but,
Well,
I guess.
you don't know Mike Galloway very well.
Yeah.
They're not gonna wanna eat it.
The hammer,
Yeah.
hammer
But,
likes more
well,
than food.
I guess I would like to think, I guess, if the area called me and said, hey, would you be willing to give up a couple hours, come sit on a panel for us? Out of professional courtesy, I'd go,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
We've both done that
Yeah,
before.
and expect nothing in return, but.
You're not an HR lawyer.
Yeah, I'm not a lawyer, that's why I'm being honest with you.
They
I will
don't do
say,
much for free.
Mike's skill sets lie elsewhere compared to what we're talking here. Mike is more truly an attorney and not usually focused on what I'm gonna call the fuzzy parts of HR. So.
But
I
he
don't
might
know.
be willing to say, I can get you the sheriff of Boone County,
Right.
the police chief of Centerville, the fire chief of Charles City,
Mhm.
and we'll converge and, I don't, you could, and see what he says.
Yeah, I'll check with him. I just wanted,
I do think we probably do need to throw a dollar amount out there though, in case they need.
That way we aren't delayed by it.
Not to exceed 2,000.
Sure.
I mean,
yeah, I don't know, this is out of my
They're gonna
wheelhouse.
be
Yeah,
expensive.
but
I just see what I read in the Times Citizen about how much Iowa Falls Alone School District paid for their search. I think they paid $3,000 to find, or was it more?
I think it was 9, I wanna say.
Okay, for a superintendent, so,
But
yeah, no, we're in the wrong business, Dave.
okay, so
So,
do we have a motion?
I make a motion that we reach out to the county HR, to get their input on, providing us with a subset of 3 people to do the interviews for our EMC position, and with monetary not to exceed 2,000. Does that work?
Their
have a second?
input or facilitate the process.
Facilitate the process.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
We have a motion by Diggs, second by Bear. Any further discussion? Does anybody here have a, I don't want to say preference on an individual, but I want to make certain fire EMS, law, city government is represented. You know, I don't want it to be, well, we got 2 sheriffs and a police chief, and
I think
You should have-
multidisciplinary.
You should have police,
Yeah.
fire,
Public works.
ambulance, we have a hospital, something like that.
Or Public Works.
And probably get you a
Well,
city red coat.
Public works, you know,
obviously we won't want
Not
anybody.
Chuck, but
Right,
Or
Chuck or
Barry.
Jason,
Yeah.
but I mean somebody that,
there's 6, 7 of them, so we can get somebody good.
What about the CEO of the hospital?
I mean,
There's somebody from the
I don't think, I think we want to steer clear of
In
hard
calendars.
count, in count.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. So, I'll get with HR and obviously,
See what they.
yeah, and, once I do get their suggestion or input, I may just put out an email to this commission saying, here's what their recommendation is. We've got the motion in the second, so
Would one of your state deputy association board members do it?
potentially, yeah. Yep.
but you run into, you know, every one of them.
Right, well, I'm not applying for it.
No, I know, but you were talking about one person might know somebody, you know,
I'm talking in the law enforcement,
right,
whereas if we went with another EMC from another county,
oh, I see.
you know, they may know, I mean, you know how the law enforcement
Typically-
world
Well,
is.
that's why I said that, because I'm like, well, shit, you know everybody, that's sheriff.
Yeah, but, you know, it'd just be one of those, hey, here's one from
Yeah,
Iowa County that's gonna come up and just,
But I've worked for companies
Oh, Rob.
that we've
Rob from
used
Iowa County.
agencies to do our hiring, and one of the questions is like, if you're a jury member, do you know anything about this person? You have to recuse yourself from being on that panel. So I would think if we contracted this entity or agency, whatever it might be, they would use similar practices, because you really have to separate yourself from that. So I applaud you for bringing that, because it can be kind of contentious in a small county of 17,000 people.
and I even thought about like the old, you know, the dating game, you know, we put up with, you know, candidate number 2. You know, what's your ideal of a first date? But, you know, I want it to be as fair as we possibly can to everybody.
Yeah,
Because,
trustees head to Oakdale.
yeah, we got some inmates.
well, and you
that-
truly, at that point, you know as well, you truly get the best person for the job.
And that's what I want.
Yeah, that's
Right.
what you
I want
get.
the what's.
It's-
the
it's
Whether,
best
whether I
one.
say, are you shitting me, they hired, but he's truly the best
Right,
person for the job.
and that's where I say, I think as a commission, once we get to that point, we probably
Well,
go
you
with
gotta
what they were.
respect it, yeah.
So,
It's kinda like a civil service commission,
Mhm.
they make the list, you know. So,
got a motion and a second, any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Next meeting date has been set for March 19th. following the 911 meeting. With that was a motion.
Yes, sir. March 19th, 2019, large conference room at the courthouse, 6:30 PM.
Aye. We have a second.
Second.
Motion by Hoffman, second by Daggs. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Entertain a motion to adjourn. Motion by Smart, second. Second by Fiskus. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you for your time.